Bam. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Salute to everybody already tuning in. Devin Ford in the building. Toy Mafia, underrated Will. My peoples. My peoples. It's raining right now here in my city. But let me just say, it don't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's hot, if it's cold. If you're awake, God gave you another day, man. Thank you, God, for giving us another one. We get to enjoy life. We get to enjoy family. We get to enjoy the sweet science, fellas. Let's talk about it, man. Underrated Will, my G, what's the deal? Fellas, we got some good fights on Saturday, man. We're gonna get some smoke. Carlos Adamus, El Caballo Bronco versus Austin Ammo Williams. That's going down. And it's gonna be a good fight. A good one, my peoples. I'm telling you. You know how it is in boxing, man. Styles make fights. And this one has all the recipe to be fireworks. Fireworks. This fight is going down on March 21st, but it's going to feel like July 4th. Carlos Adamus, you guys know how he get down. You guys know how he let the hands fly. But Austin Ammo, he do the same too. He do the same too, my people. So this is going to be one of those type of fights where you can expect them to go back and forth. You can expect them to both, have their moment. It could be, the type of back and forth where there's going to be moments you won't know who's going to win this fight. That type of fight. I've seen a lot of people saying Austin Ammo got what it takes to beat Carlos Adamus. And I don't know, I don't remember making an official prediction for this fight. Maybe I did. But I'll tell you right now, I have Carlos Adamus winning this fight. Not because he's Dominican, he's my brother from Dominican Republic. No. You guys who know Jay Smith, y'all know I'm not biased when it comes to making prediction, when it comes to making an assessment. I go by what I see. And Austin Williams, he a skilled fighter, got skills, got pop. But I feel like the experience factor is gonna show. Carlos Adamus has faced better opposition. And let me point something out. Austin Ammo has one loss in his resume. He only lost one time in his career. And who did he lose to? Hamza Shiraz. The same Hamza Shiraz that was gifted a draw versus Carlos Adamus. And I say gifted a draw because you guys know a lot of people saw Adamus winning that fight versus Hamza Shiraz. It was a good fight. Good competitive fight. It went back and forth. But that's also when we saw that little controversy where His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh went to Hamza Shiraz's corner. And he was like, oh, you got to deck him. You're behind on the cards. Which came across as shady. Like how one of the event organizers is going to one of the fighters and giving instructions and telling them information about the scorecards. So, and I said it before, it doesn't mean that they cheated him or anything like that. But when you have His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, the guy putting up the money, putting all this together, when you have him going to a fighter's corner to give instructions, that can also sway the judge's opinion. The judges are looking at that like, damn, this guy really want him to win. And this the guy paying all of us. So I'm not saying that he actually did sway the judge's opinion, but he could have. Could have. So, and he never did it after that. I have a feeling someone spoke to Turkey Al-Sheikh and told him, bro, can't be doing that shit. Going to the fighters, going to their corner, giving instructions. You're an event organizer. You're a promoter. But it played out that it did. My point is that and the triangle theory doesn't work in boxing. We already know this. So I'm not suggesting just because Austin Amo lost to Hamza and Carlos had a better fight with him, that means automatically that Adamus is going to be Amo. No, it doesn't mean that. We've debunked the triangle theory in boxing a million times. But what I can tell you is that Carlos Adamus has faced better opponents, has, a lot more experience, and it's going to show that night. It's going to show. I feel like Amo got the skills to make it a real good fight. He got the skills to make it an interesting fight. It's just that Carlos Adamus, man, he a dog. He a dog, my peoples. It's tough. It's tough to beat a fighter like that. Come and give me a hug. I love you. Show them how you do it, Ryan. Show them so they can see. You see the left, the right, the left, the right, the left, the right, the right. Up. You gotta put your hands up. Put your hands up. You gotta block. You gotta block those. I love you. See. So, my peoples, I really am looking forward to these fights. This is the main event, of course. Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames versus Austin Amo Williams. That's the main event. And I'm telling you, this fight has all the recipe that we need to get fireworks. So I'm expecting a great showdown. I got my Dominican brother, Carlos Adames, walking out of there with the W. I don't want to predict the stoppage because I know Austin Amo, he a dog too. Austin Amo, he not there to lose. He's confident in himself, and he's going there to win. A fighter like that can and is dangerous when he got the type of skills that Williams got. So this ain't going to be no easy fight. Nobody getting washed. Nobody getting cooked. It's going to be a showdown. It's like I told y'all, man. I got Carlos Adames winning this fight. Raul Mercado, beautiful family. Salute, my brother. Family's everything, my peoples. Family is absolutely everything. My son, my wife, that's my everything right there. That's why I work so hard for it. Make sure we all good over here. You know what I mean? So, my peoples, let me know who y'all got winning this fight, man. Make your predictions. Make your prediction. Is Carlos Adames walking out of there with the W according to y'all? Or is it going to be the Austin Amo Williams show? Who's walking out of there with the W tomorrow? It's tomorrow. That's it. No more talking. No more back and forth between them. I know they had, a couple of fiery face-offs. That's it. That's it. It's time to go to work. They're going to go to work. And I'm telling you, man, this fight is going to be explosive, my people. It's going to be one of those. One of those. That's how I call it. And let me just say something else, too. There's another fight that's going down on this card that I'm looking forward to. Because of the fighter who's there, who's going to be fighting. My peoples, are you familiar with Teremoana? He's going to be fighting. And let me just say, if you don't yet know Teremoana, let me be the guy to tell you, this is one of those fighters, one of those heavyweights, that's going to be a problem. Teremoana. He's an Australian fighter. Look at him right here. And I'm telling you, my peoples, this dude can fight. He dangerous. Big, he a big dude. He got power. Mr. KO, salute my brother. Bam. Illis step. Adamus is winning. Salute family. Bam. I got Carlos Adamus winning this fight too. I got him winning this fight. And I got mad respect for Austin Ammo. Don't get it twisted. I got respect for Austin Ammo. I know what he brings to the table. I know what he's able to do. So I know that he not out there to get washed. Okay, he not out there to get cooked. He not out there to get smoked. None of that. You know, Austin Williams is going to be there letting the hands fly. He's going to have his moments during this fight. But it's like I said, man, Carlos Adamus he a different animal. Carlos Adamus, my peoples, is a different animal. And we're going to see that. We're going to see that. But on this same card, like I said, we're also going to have the opportunity to see Teremoana. You know, I know that he's not super popular just yet. He hasn't blown up. But I'm telling you, my peoples, you got to keep an eye on him. You got to keep an eye on him. This dude can fight. He's in the heavyweight division, and he's one of the guys that's making me feel good about the heavyweight division. Because you guys know, for a while there, it seemed like the heavyweight division was kind of down. Like, we're not getting, you know, the type of action that we want, and we don't see the elite level guys in that division. There's some young guns coming up, my people. Do not get it twisted, y'all. Illis step. He was robbed last fight against Shiraz with that draw. Hell yeah, my brother. I was just talking about that earlier. Carlos Adames beat Hamza Shiraz. They gifted Shiraz that draw. Why? Because that was a Riyadh season event. You know, that's Turkey's people over there. Hamza's like Turkey's people over there. And they took care of him. I don't know if you remember, towards the end of the fight, like in the 10th round, Turkey actually went to Hamza's corner. And we're like, yo, you behind on the cars. Deck him. You got to deck him. So when, you know, you see one of the event organizers going to the fighter's corner, giving information about the scorecards, that's crazy right there. That looked like some suspect shit going on. And then to top it off, the judges see that. The judges are human beings. You think they don't notice that Turkey want that guy to win? Turkey's the guy who's putting all this stuff together, who's putting up the money, and he wants that guy to win. You don't think that could sway the judges and say, damn, man, this guy lost, but let's at least gift him a draw, and at least he stays undefeated. That's what it looked like to me. Mr. KO, I got Adamus winning. I have him out working ammo. And it'll show around the 5th, 6th round. Mr. KO, Teremoana, it's a good fighter. See what he can do live. And I was impressed. I'm telling you, man, Teremoana. I think he's going to be a big star. You know, with the skill set that he has, his size, his power, his style. People like an aggressive fighter. I see Teremoana becoming a big star. Now, I will say, Carlos Adames versus Austin Ammo, I'm expecting that to be a real good fight, but the experience is going to show. Shakur hands, salute, my brother. I feel like the experience, the difference is going to show. And by the way, I am going to be calling this fight. In case you didn't know, Teremoana actually was an Olympian fighter for Australia. So he has that amateur pedigree. As a professional, he's already, you know, getting his career going. But it's like I said, man, if you haven't watched Teremoana fight, please check him out. Please check him out. My people, by the way, somebody told me that, and before I switch subjects, let me just point out, look at this, y'all. Teremoana, right now, he's 9-0 with 9 knockouts. Clifton Dennis, I got Adamus, but I feel like anything can happen. Salute, my brother. So let me just say this. Austin Ammo is a guy who can fight. He's a guy who can fight. So, you know, I don't want to diminish him in any way, shape, or form. Because he can fight. He got skills. And he only got 1 loss to Hamza Shiraz. So that right there tells us this guy can fight. This guy can fight. I got Carlos Adamus winning it because he got more experience. He's beating better opponents. He's faced better opponents. But this dude is there to fight, and he's confident in himself. He's going in there like he could win this fight. A confident fighter who's skilled is a dangerous fighter. What do you think about Zuffa Boxing? Look, man, I'm going to tell you right now. At first, I didn't really like Zuffa Boxing and what they was doing. There's a lot of stuff that I just didn't like about Zuffa Boxing. But now, after seeing the first few cards, I'm on board. I'm in the Zuffa bandwagon, bro. You know, not on an extreme end. I don't think that they're signing a lot of good fighters. They're signing a lot of prospects. They're signing world champions like Jayo Pataya. They're signing known names, people that we know about. My Dominican brother is already over there. Edwin De Los Santos is already over there. Former world champion Rayo Valenzuela, who beat Pitbull Cruz, is already on Zuffa Boxing. So they're bringing in names that we're already familiar with. They're bringing champions. They're bringing lower level guys. They're bringing guys that are in different parts of their career, whether they just getting started or already been a world champion, and they're putting together a lot of very competitive fights. That's where Zuffa is killing it. They killing it when it comes to that. The matchups, they doing a great job. Matchmaking, Zuffa is showing us, and Dana said that from the beginning, and I can see his vision now. That number one, they're not going to be protecting undefeated records. They're not going to be cherry picking for fighters to keep them undefeated. And they're going to bring that culture back where it won't be about protecting the O anymore. That's it. Everybody's just going to fight everybody. And that's going to pressure the fighters that are on the other side to do the same thing. Because Zuffa is going to get super exciting when you see all these guys fighting top-level opponents. In the first 3 cards, I must have saw like 4 or 5 people lose their O. Almost, I think on every Zuffa card, we seen people lose their O. That's a good thing. That shows the competitiveness. Because what we're used to seeing is that if a guy's 10-0, or he's a prospect, and he's facing an opponent with 17 wins and 15 losses. Or he's a prospect, they feeding him a cherry with 5 wins and 7 losses. And getting them some easy wins to pad up that record. Not on Zuffa Boxing. On Zuffa Boxing, you've seen the guy that's 10-0 fighting a guy that's 11-1. The guy that's 10-0 fighting a guy that's 15-2. Who's skilled too, just like him. And he's going to have to win in a dogfight. That's great for boxing. So I'm with it. I'm with it, my peoples. At first, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, nah, bro. Zuffa Boxing, they putting in that work. Salute to Dana White, Turkey, and everybody involved. Brady, I feel the same way. I think it's going to take off. I just hope it doesn't get corny. Now, look, I really believe that they're going to be doing a good job, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. Now you see that they signed a long-term deal with Sky Sports, so you can see that Zuffa, they already going after that UK market. You're going to see them signing more UK fighters, and you're going to see them putting cards together in the UK and getting that popularity. And you're also going to see fighters that we never heard of become popular on Zuffa Boxing. The name that comes to my mind is Jay Pebenito, because I never seen him before. I never heard of him before. He was on the second or the third Zuffa card. I don't remember which one. And I'm watching him and an opponent that was also undefeated going at it. And I'm like, damn, these guys both undefeated that early on in their career, facing each other off. I like that. And Jay Pebenito faced an opponent that was really good. That is really good. And that also was landing some good shots on him. But that's when you see, you know, la creme de la creme. That's when you see the best stand out. So Jay Pebenito, you know, facing a tough opponent with a similar record to his, both undefeated, had to overcome. Had to face a guy that was landing some good shots, that was getting after it, and he had to weather that little storm and show out and do what he does. So we're going to see some good stuff, some good action on Zuffa Boxing. And we getting those cards on Sunday. Come on, bro. You can't miss. Now we could have a boxing card on Saturday, and it'll be a real good one. And then another card on Sunday. Ooh. You see, I like that. The fact that Zuffa decided to do their cards on Sundays give us another day of boxing. So what is Zuffa? What is really wrong with Zuffa? People just like to hate. But if you think about it, we, the fans, are winning with Zuffa Boxing. We getting more fights, and we getting super competitive fight. The matchmaking for Zuffa Boxing is crazy. It's been great so far. Brady, one thing for sure, they have fighters who want to fight 100%. Hakeem, can Dana White handle Ennis versus Ortiz? That's not a title fight. So I'm going to tell you right now, Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz is not going to happen no time soon. Claymore Rain in the building. Salute, my brother. Bam. I'm telling you right now, my G. Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, at least for now, the ship has sailed on that fight. You know why? Why I know for a fact we're not getting that fight no time soon? Because Virgil Ortiz has already made some stupid statements after he lost to De La Hoya in court. He's already said that he's done with Golden Boy. He already lost in court. He's appealing the decision. Remember, the judge ruled in Golden Boy's favor. So he was not able to become a free agent. He stuck with Golden Boy. Now he's appealing that decision, and he's trying to go to arbitration. So basically, he's trying to fight De La Hoya till the end to try to get out the contract. And he's not going to be able to. And I said it from the beginning, my peoples. He's not going to win in court. You're taking an L inside the courtroom, for sure. So that's the reason why I don't see this fight happening. Look, I want to see this badly. I want to see Virgil versus Boots as bad as everybody else. We've been calling for that fight since they was both in the 147 division. We've been calling for it. Now we was this close to getting it, and look what happened. Virgil decided to sue Golden Boy. Come on, man. Brady, boxers outside Zuffa are going to be scared of these up-and-comers. Clifton Dennis, nothing wrong with Zuffa unless they take top guys and gatekeep them, basically creating a new street after finally they just started mixing it up. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I really believe that Dana White is going to continue to follow that pattern of just matching the best versus the best consistently. So ain't nobody going to be undefeated on Zuffa Boxing. And if somebody manages to stay undefeated, they're going to be really, really, really good. They're going to be about that life for real. You're not going to see nobody make it to no 25-0 on Zuffa Boxing. It's just not happening. And when somebody does make it, it just means they're really that good. You know, because we've seen fighters 25-0, even 30-0. You look at the whole resume, and there's nobody in that resume that's even close to ever becoming a world champion. And it's like, yeah, he 30-0, but goddamn, who he beat? Who he fighting? Zuffa Boxing, when somebody gets to an undefeated record like that, you're gonna know that person is legit. Claymore Rain, activity versus development. That being said, what do you think about the quality of fighter we might see come out of this Super League? So I gotta say this, Claymore Rain. I've already seen some real good fighters on Zuffa Boxing. Jay Pebenito is one of them. But I've seen some real good fighters that I never even heard of. Because, you know, there's fighters. Right now, my peoples, there's fighters in different states and in different countries with a record of 5-0, 6-0, that we never heard of, that they're only known locally. And we don't know them. And Zuffa Boxing is going to introduce us to those guys. But I see a lot of quality fighters and also a lot of young fighters who are prospects who opted to go with Zuffa Boxing. So Claymore Ray, my brother, I truly believe that we're going to see Zuffa Boxing develop big stars. Guys who started off on Zuffa, who we never heard of, who we're going to start seeing on that platform for the first time, and they'll become big stars. It'll take time. They got to win. They got to keep winning, and they got to accomplish. But we're going to see it. It's only a matter of time. Al, I'm learning to accept the new boxing platforms, but I can't help missing the days of Showtime and HBO boxing. Oh, man. Boxing After Dark from HBO was something special to witness. And even the ESPN, when we had Thursday night fights on ESPN back then. And, you know, we've gotten so much, you know, boxing from these other platforms, but we have to adapt to the new things that come up. Before, I used to see these other platforms like, that's like some B-level boxing. But I come to realize now fighters are looking for opportunities. Rose, salute family. Eid Mubarak, J. Smith. I'm not familiar with him. The last name looks familiar. The last name Mubarak looks familiar, but I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head. Brady, those were the glory days. Those were the glory days. But I'm telling you, right now, boxing is in a great space. You know why? Because Zuffa Boxing is going to start putting together these super competitive fights. And that is going to put pressure on everybody else to do the same. Because now when you see these prospects facing tough opponents, losing that O early in their career, you're going to look at fighters from Top Rank, from Matchroom, from Golden Boy, and then you're going to wonder, damn, this guy's 10-0, and he's fighting a guy with 5 wins and 20 losses. Man, that shit is whack. You're not going to want to see those fights. Those cherry-pick fights to pad up the record and get you to 20-0 or whatever, you're not going to be happy with that. You're going to be calling that shit out. That's been the norm. We're used to getting that. Zuffa Boxing is going to destroy that scheme. And it's going to say, nah, we're going to compete. We're going to see competitive fights. That's what you're going to get. The letter M, Zuffa won't let you cherry pick. They not having it. They not having it. Brady, but if we do, boy, he's going to be a bad man. Damn for Sean O'Grady. Is he on Zuffa? Brady. And Zuffa is giving them the chance. Let's go. And that's what a lot of fighters need, because we have to understand there's a lot of fighters out there who are inactive because they don't have an opportunity. Look at Edwin De Los Santos. Still hasn't been in the ring. For how long already? Why? Because he hasn't had an opportunity to fight. He wants to fight. So now he's going to go to Zuffa Boxing and he'll be able to get active. Aroma Sound. Bam. Salute, family. Claymore Rain, what do you think about Paramount getting close to buying Warner Brothers If the deal goes through, we're talking about HBO, all those channels. I'm gonna tell you what, if Paramount does work it out with Warner Brothers, we might actually get boxing on these platforms where we used to get them at. Think about it. How would boxing fans react if we were told that boxing is going back to HBO? Bro, look. I don't know if you could tell, bro. But just me saying boxing going back to HBO, that shit gave me goosebumps, bro. Look. I don't know if y'all could tell, bro. God damn. Just thinking about the possibility of boxing going back to HBO. Think about Jim Lampley, George Foreman, Harold Letterman, Roy Jones Jr., everybody that was there calling the fights and giving us that elite level commentary. It makes me think about that. Give me goosebumps. So I don't know, Claymore Rain, what are going to be the implications if something like that can happen, but that would be insane. That would take over boxing. And the boxing world will go insane if that was to happen. Side, do you think guys like Inoue, Usyk, and Crawford could have stayed undefeated on Zuffa? So the best of the best, they're going to stay undefeated no matter where you put them because they're the best of the best. So Inoue, ain't nobody beating them on Zuffa. Ain't nobody beating them. But ain't nobody beating him. He the best in the world. Usyk, he the best in the world. But that's the point. Only people like that, the creme de la creme, are going to stay undefeated on Zuffa Boxing. But I'll give you an example. A guy like Edgar Berlanga, he wouldn't have made it all the way to Canelo Alvarez to lose his undefeated record. He would have lost his undefeated record at 6-0. Would have got his ass whooped. A lot of fighters would have lost that undefeated record way before getting to 20 wins. Boxing Fanatical. I saw a video of Tank yesterday, and you could see in his eyes, he was faded. I got to check it out. Was it a recent video? Was it recorded recently? Because after that accident, I haven't seen anything. I just read about the accident like most people. I read that supposedly he was okay, and that was it. But I haven't seen him. I miss him, Lampley and Merchant. Man, listen, they always gave us great commentary. Larry Merchant sometimes was a little bit wild and used to say crazy shit sometimes. But as far as him calling the action and just giving us the commentary, he always gave us good stuff. He went back and forth with a few fighters, most notably Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd told him, you don't know shit about boxing. that was the letter M. Damn. Just saying HBO boxing got me up, bro. When the words HBO boxing came out of my mouth, I got goosebumps right away. Like, oh, shit, what just happened over here? Clifton Dennis, why does HBO change things? I wish they just go to the zone for the same place, wherever, because we paying too much. Miss Hale, I love how that sound, but I doubt if it would happen, it would be how it used to be, depending on who controls it. I mean, I think if HBO was to go back to boxing, they would have to bring in some of the same people who ran the boxing programming on the network. They would have to do that to bring in the same elements. So if they could bring, the same nostalgia, I'm going to tell you one of the things that we took for granted. We didn't realize how good it was. And after time passed, we could think about it. We could go back. We could watch it. HBO Boxing, the production was probably the best we ever seen. The way they produced the show. Just go back and watch. And look, I'm not trying to diminish anybody. Like the production on The Zone, on ESPN, on Paramount Plus, it's all good. But HBO Boxing, the way they produce these fights, it's almost like you was watching a movie, bro. The way they did the lead up to the fight, the way they did You know, the before the ring walks, the behind the scenes, the you know, the Jim Lampley and the George Foreman and the Roy Jones Jr., you know, having their conversations before the card kicked off. Everything they did and the way that they did it, it was just with the same quality that they did their movies and their original programming. It's just a level of quality that you saw on HBO Boxing that it was just different, bro. It was just a different ball game. The letter M. No more fake star boxers. You got to fight. That's it. They're not going to be able to build you a resume 25-0. And then you look at the box, right? God damn, but this guy's fighting pizza delivery guys and Taco Bell burrito rollers. No wonder he 30-0. Come on. We gotta get those fights that they're competitive. We want those fights. And that's what's gonna happen. Side. He went back and forth with B-Hop too. Yeah, look, Larry Merchant went back and forth with a lot of fighters. He went back and forth with a lot of fighters, had a lot of fiery interactions. Devin Ford, Larry Merch was biased. Was he biased? Honestly, I'm not sure that he was biased. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think he was a shit talker sometimes, but I'm not sure that he was biased. Because even if you look at that back and forth that he had with Floyd Mayweather, it was more about Floyd not liking him. Like, that shit was, it's like Floyd wanted to go off on him. Because if you think about that interaction when Floyd Mayweather told him, you don't know shit about boxing, Floyd got mad. He didn't even say nothing negative to Floyd. If you remember, he was telling Floyd when that moment happened, like, you was already beating him. What, you know, was it necessary to punch him in the break? Like, Larry Merchant was trying to drill in on that point that Floyd Mayweather, you know, punched him right there when this guy was trying to show him love or try to apologize or whatever. And a lot of people saw it like a sucker punch, but it's not a sucker punch because in boxing, protect yourself at all times. There's no such thing as a sucker punch in boxing unless you turned away, and that's different. They was facing each other off. Now, if you choose to tap gloves with your opponent and they knock you out, you got caught slipping. Simple as that. It was not a sucker punch, as much as people want to see it that way. So Larry Merchant was like, why did you do that when you could have? And Floyd just went off on him. Went off on him. You don't know shit about boxing. You don't know. So you could see that Floyd already had this little thing where he wanted to go at him. And finally, that day was the day that he was going to do it. The letter M, Larry Merchant versus Floyd Mayweather. Mr. KO, Merchant never gave Floyd a fair shake. You never gave me a fair shake. I'm like, damn, Floyd, you mad, but he wasn't even giving you no type of shake, a fair or unfair shake. He was just saying, and I understand, I think as a journalist, that's a legitimate question. Why, if you're going to beat this guy, we all know you could beat this guy, why would you punch him when he's trying to tap gloves with you? So I think it was reasonable to question that, and Floyd didn't like it. The letter M, I think Merchant versus Mayweather should happen in Saudi Arabia exhibition fight. Mr. KO, Floyd versus Brian Kenny too. Ow. They forget y'all boy headbutted him first. Yeah, he was the first one to show a dirty tactic with the headbutt. He was the first one. So if you headbutt an opponent on purpose, you know, you might want to protect. You definitely want to make sure you protect yourself at all times. You're playing dirty. You playing dirty. So was it the right thing to do for Floyd to tap gloves and boom, knock him out? Well, he just got headbutted. He just got the dirty treatment. Well, I got to give you the clean treatment. No, if you're going to fight me dirty, I'm going to give you that same energy. So it wasn't a sucker punch. It's in the middle of a boxing match. We looking at each other, and you got caught slipping. That's the reality of what happened. Devin Ford, Floyd said if he was younger, he would tear him up. Larry Merchant was like, yeah, because Larry Merchant was like, if I was younger, I'd kick your ass. Man, Larry, shut the hell up. Floyd would have beat the crap out of you at any age. Ow. Twice, actually, before the sucker punch. Mr. KO, Brian Kenny was just throwing names at Floyd. He had nothing else left to say. The letter M. Once you start the dirty tactics, there's no respect. You get what you give. Of course. Of course. That's why bro look goofy as hell. Like, you gonna headbutt somebody on purpose? And let me tell you something, my peoples. I got headbutted one time. One time. And when I got headbutted, it was not done on purpose. They didn't go like that to me. We was closing the gap, and my opponent was like trying to swing like that, and boom, caught me with the head. And it hit me at the same time, like in my cheekbone and my nose. Bang! So I felt it on both of them. And my peoples, let me tell you, that's something it doesn't translate on TV, because fighters, when you get headbutt, you keep it moving, you keep fighting, right? But let me be the one to tell you, headbutts hurt. That shit hurt, my peoples. Getting hit with a headbutt in your face, it could be your nose, your cheekbone, your eyes, wherever it is, that shit hurt. He headbutted the shit out of Floyd. Oh, jumped into it. All in the face piece. What kind of energy you expect after that from Floyd? Now you want to play cool after headbutting the shit out of me? Hell no. That's like you sucker punch somebody in the street and then try to give them a handshake. Boom! Yeah, what's up, bro? Nah, what's up? Why, you just sucker punch me. You're going to get this energy now. Devin Ford, tell Floyd to fight Gennady Golovkin. God damn. Fight Triple G, fight a heavyweight? Shakur hands. That was nasty. Mr. KO, speaking of Floyd, remember when Zab legitimately dropped him and the ref missed it as a slip because of the angle? Oh, you see, but in that case, the ref wasn't trying to cheat. If you watch the replay, you could see that when Floyd's hand touched the glove, the ref was over here. He didn't see it. When his glove touched the canvas, the ref didn't see it. So it's one of those cases where they actually just didn't make the call because that's not what they saw. It wasn't really trying to cheat. But we definitely know that Zab Judah should have scored a knockdown versus Floyd Mayweather. Should have scored the only knockdown in Floyd Mayweather's career. Should have been awarded to Zab Judah, and it wasn't. But we also have to understand, he lost that fight regardless. So even if that would have been scored a knockdown, he was going to lose that fight. The letter M. You can get dazed off a headbutt. No joke, of course. A headbutt will have you twisted, bro. Claymore Rain, pause. And catch a hot one in your face. Come on now. No Diddy. Jay is in the house. Good morning, Jay Smith and the Box Center family. Salute, my brother. Bam. 25 people in the building. Only 20 likes. Come on, fellas. Y'all know in 2025, there ain't no in 2026, there ain't no ghost watching. No ghost watching. Clifton Dennis, did Floyd take a knee before? The answer to that question is no. No fighter ever made Floyd take a knee. Al, Zab was just as talented as Floyd. Just wish he was more focused. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that. Talent-wise, Zab Judah was such a special fighter. Such a special fighter. I had the opportunity to watch Zab Judah training in Gleason's. And, man, him training every day. And it's like, I knew he was special. I knew that he was going to accomplish some things. Because when I was in Gleason's gym, I'm talking about 98. At that time, Zab Judah was like 12-0, 30-0 maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember his exact record. But he was early in his career, hadn't fought for a title yet. And I already knew Zab was going to become a world champion. I took one of my family members to Gleason's gym on a day that I was going to spar so they could see Zab Judah. And I was like, yo, bro. And at that time, nobody knew Zab. He wasn't, he was on TV, but like on I think he was on ESPN fights at that time, on ESPN cards. And he wasn't a big name yet. A lot of people didn't know him yet. I even remember when he signed his deal to fight on HBO Boxing. He signed like a 4 or 5 fight deal. When he became a millionaire, I was in Gleason's gym. I got to see Zab Judah, start getting iced out, start coming out in rap videos, showing up in the Escalade, the big Escalade with the 24-inch rims. I got to witness that. And I say, Zab Judah, his skill level, his talent level was up there with Floyd. What he didn't have like Floyd was the conditioning. Floyd's conditioning was different. That's why when you watch the fight, half of that fight, the first 6 rounds, Zab was getting the best of Floyd. He was getting the best of him. With his speed, with his power, he was getting him. But then you saw Zab Judah's punch output start to decrease while Floyd Mayweather increased what he was doing. Started to do more. Then Dennis, I know my ish. Floyd took a knee versus Hernandez. Look it up, Jay. If you say that he did, I'll believe you, bro. Don't worry. We don't have to argue it. I could see that you was looking for something that you wanted to be right and me to be wrong. You got it, family. I can't remember that far back. He took a knee. You asked me the question earlier, and I had a feeling that's where you was going with it. Did Floyd ever take a knee? Nah, yeah, he took a knee, Jay. I know my ish. You got it, bro. I don't remember that. Mr. KO, true, Zab slowed down. How long it took you, Clifton, to say that? You actually asked me something. I'm going to Google this so you could come back and be right. That shit is hilarious. A lot of people do that. Don't worry about it, bro. Zab Judah, Mr. KO, Zab Judah, true, Zab slowed down. It was the discipline. Floyd was more disciplined than Zab in the gym and live, eat, sleep, and shit boxing. Bro, I'm telling you right now, skills-wise, they was right there, on par. Clifton Dennis, you're sensitive. You see what I'm saying? Your focus is not boxing, Clifton Dennis. Your focus is me. You got to try to stop focusing on me and focus on the boxing, brother. It's boxing for breakfast. You're focused on trying to prove Jay wrong and focusing on trying to contradict Jay. And, bro, Floyd Mayweather and Genaro Hernandez fought how many years ago? I watched that fight, but I don't remember that shit, bro. Like, come on now. Like, you really trying to make a talking point that you remember that Floyd took a knee versus Genaro Hernandez 30? Bro, I'm not sensitive. But what you're saying is corny as fuck. You don't even realize it. 99% of the people who watched that fight don't remember that, bro. Don't remember that. Ronaldo, he didn't remember. Like, who remembers that? Nobody remembers that. Clifton Dennis, you have to stop Googling stuff to try to say, look, Jay, I remember something that you didn't, and I'm right. Stop doing that, bro. Enjoy the sweet science, my guy. Come on now. Side, Bud got dropped too. In reality, if you're talking about the stuff with me, he didn't get dropped. He didn't get dropped, bro. And you know why I'm telling you that he didn't get dropped? Because in that case, he got shoved down. He got shoved. Mean Machine caught him with a good shot. He closed the gap, and Mean Machine pushed him down. If you watch the replay, you can watch it 50 times and you see he got pushed down. Clifton Dennis, seriously, you saying the most because you made a mistake. Man, Clifton Dennis, you still on me, bro. You still on me, bro. What are we doing? You still on me? Look, you're saying the most because you made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. You asked me a question trying to catch me slipping, and you caught me slipping. I forgot. Now I know you ask me questions about old shit, I can't answer because now your talking point is gonna be that I was wrong and you was right. Like, come on, man. You going out of your way to try to catch me slipping. Come on, man. Clifton Dennis, I'm going to put myself on a 24. Shame on me for making a correction. Oh, no, no, no. You didn't make a correction. You asked a question to make a correction. Don't put yourself on 24, my guy. I'll do that for you. I'll do that for you. Come back tomorrow and talk about boxing and stop asking dumb questions to say, look, I got you, Jay. I remember that Floyd took a knee 30 years ago and you don't. I got you, Jay. Man, shut the hell up, Clifton Dennis. You've been corny as hell since yesterday. Since yesterday, you've been corny as hell and you showed up with the same corniness today. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Jesus Christ, my peoples. This is what you have to deal with. This is what you have to deal with. Mr. K, why do I have to deal with this? Why do I have to deal with people Googling stuff and asking me questions about stuff from 30 years ago to say, I corrected you? Does that make people feel like they knowledgeable, son? I don't understand it, bro. Miguel Rodriguez, salute, family. Ow. Wifey must have pissed him off. I don't know, man. I don't know if he having a bad day at home or something, and he gonna take it out on Jay Smith. What's going on? Ghost Dragon, what we talking about? Salute, family. So we talking about a lot. The main topic of conversation today is this PBC card that's going down on Saturday. We got Austin Ammo versus Carlos Adamus on the main event. We also got Teremoana, who's going to be fighting on the same card. Those are going to be good fights. We're talking about the situation also with Virgil Ortiz and Ennis. It doesn't look like the fight is going to happen anytime soon, at least. Raul Mercado, he doesn't like you. I mean, I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know. Some people adapt this mindset where it's like, I'm going to go on boxing for breakfast and I'm going to prove Jay wrong. Like, how are you going to ask me some shit from 30 years ago and then when I get it wrong because I don't remember, you come right back in like, nah, I'm correcting you. You was wrong. Huh? Bro, really? Floyd Mayweather took a knee versus Genaro Hernandez in his first title fight over 30 years ago? And that's what you telling me that you was right about? Man, shut the hell up. You too corny. It's a new level of corniness. Raul Mercado, he doesn't like you. It's not that he doesn't like me. He's like a sneak hater. He's sneak hating on me. Damn Ford. They're saying Boots and Xander. So, I heard about that. And I spoke about that before. Listen, Jerome Boots Ennis versus Xander Sayas, that's a heck of a fight. That is a heck of a fight. But I am going to say this. Xander Sayas, he's only 23 years old. He's only 23. I don't know if we want to see him with Boots that early in his career. I don't know, bro. Real talk. Ronaldo Miranda, he was better off making a statement, not asking. And that's my point, Ronaldo. That shows that he a goofball. He could have came in and said, yo, Floyd Mayweather got dropped or took a knee versus Genaro. But instead of just saying it, instead of just offering that opinion, he asked. Like trying to get a gotcha question. Jay, did Floyd take a knee? I'm like, no, because I don't remember Floyd taking a knee 30-something years ago. Oh, you wrong. Floyd Mayweather took a knee. I was right and I corrected you. What a goofball, bro. That's somebody who actually had us an admin over here. A goofball like that. Mr. KO, I got to go with Boots too. Johnny, Las Vegas, Bulls versus Virgil. E. Coulter. What about Prograis? I mean, Regis Prograis is going to fight Conor Benn, and honestly, I believe he's going to get pummeled. I believe he's going to get pummeled by Conor Benn. Ghost Dragon. Zayas ain't in his prime yet. I mean, at 23 years old, man, I think it's early for him to be fighting Jerome Boots Ennis. And I like Xander Zayas. In my opinion, Zayas is like gonna be the face of Puerto Rican boxing, or he probably already is the face of Puerto Rican boxing. To me, he's the best fighter in Puerto Rico right now. Much respect to the other guys, the other Puerto Rican champions, but I feel like Xander Zayas is the guy. He's the dude. But like I said, man, he's only 23 years old. I'm not sure that he's ready for a guy like Jerome Boots Ennis. That's a tough fight. But I will say, Xander Zayas really is about that smoke. He's really one of them throwback fighters that wants to get in there with everybody and anybody. And how do I know this? Bro, I remember him climbing up the ring. Not climbing up in the ring, but literally following Sebastian Fundora and trying to do a face-off with him. He wanted to fight Sebastian Fundora already. He also wanted to fight Tim Tszyu, and they couldn't get that fight. When Tim Tszyu was still undefeated. He want to fight the dogs. He want to fight dangerous opponents. He want to fight the best. You respect him. You got to respect him. Zayas is, and it's not just that he's trying to call out the best and trying to fight anybody and everybody. It's just how skilled Xander Zayas is. How good he is. And he's already a unified champion at 23 years old at the 154 division. That's crazy. That's crazy. Mr. KO, realistically, Ben gonna retire Prograis. I don't see Prograis hurting Ben at all. I don't see it. And recently, I saw a video of Regis Prograis saying, "No, I'm gonna beat him up. I might knock him out. You know why I'm gonna knock him out?" Saying that he's gonna knock out Conor Benn. Come on, Regis. You never even fought above 147 in your life. You're gonna fight Conor Benn at 150. You little as hell. Conor Benn gonna put the beats on you. Claymore Rain. Call time. Like the present worst case scenario, Xander experience level goes through the roof personally. I think it's the most stylistically competitive fight to make at 154. Look, it is a good matchup, a very competitive fight, but because Xander is 23 years old and because Boots brings to the table what he does, I don't see this as a good matchup for Xander Zayas. I don't see it, man. I think that for Xander to fight Boots, he got to wait at least 3 more years. At least. So in 3 years, he's 26 and Boots is like 31, 32. That's, at that point, it's more evenly matched because now Xander has a lot more experience, but he's also in his physical prime, just like Boots. He's not in his physical prime yet. Boots right now is the strongest that he's going to be, the fastest that he's going to be. You don't want to, being Xander Zayas, that's not the guy you want to step in there with. I think, it could even be a nasty loss for Xander. Like, when a fight is real competitive, but then you start getting picked apart, and then by the time you get to like the 8th or the 9th, that's say your mechanics is fucked up. You making dumb mistakes. You're making mental errors, and now you're getting pulverized. I think a fight between them two can turn into that. Real competitive, real going back and forth in the early rounds, but then Jerome Boots Ennis starts to take over, and Xander gets in trouble. The letter M. Besides Def holding up the PR flag, but it's too soon for the Boots fight. I agree, man. I agree. Xander side. And the thing is, with him being a champion, a 2-belt champion, you know, Boots is going to go after him. Boots is going after all the champions. And let me tell you the funny thing. Right now, Boots is the most dangerous for these champions. You know why? Because if he grab a title, let's say he grab another title, he can't force Xander to fight him because they both champions in different sanctioning bodies. But since he's not a champion right now, he could become a mandatory and enforce that mandatory. So now he's a problem to everybody who hold the belt. Now, once he got a belt, it's your choice if you want to unify with him. So if he grab another belt and I'm Xander Sayas, I'm not unifying. I'm not unifying with him. Keep your belt, I'm keeping mine, and let's keep it moving. If you want to holler at me 3 years down the line, we could do it then. Devin Ford, if he got a belt, everybody wants it. Side, Regis old and small. And he's not super old like that, but he's small, man, and they're going to fight at 150. I see Conor Ben pummeling him. Ronaldo, that was funny. He don't believe that himself. Ghost Dragon, he fighting at 150. They fighting at a catch weight of 150, bro. Regis Prograis fighting Conor Ben at 150. He's going to get pummeled. That's the only way I see. And you guys know Prograis is not exactly a defensive guru. He get hit. He stand right in front of you and get hit. He's going to be getting hit by a guy who's a lot bigger, a lot stronger than him. He getting knocked out. He might get knocked out. Side, boost too much for the young man. I believe that. I believe that. And I'm telling you, Xander Sayas is a fighter that I got a lot of respect for and a lot of expectations. I expect him to become a world champion in multiple divisions. Now, he's already unified titles, but I expect him to become champion in more divisions, to beat a lot of names, to do a lot of things in boxing. But he's only 23 years old. They got to slow it down. You go after Boots, he might damn near derail your career. Remember when they put Fernando Vargas versus Tito Trinidad, like at 21 years old? It's like, God damn, bro. What are we doing over here? Why? And I understand that they believed in Fernando Vargas, but him fighting Tito Trinidad so early in his career, him fighting Oscar De La Hoya so early in his career, that affected his path. That affected him because he took a nasty loss to Tito Trinidad. And then he took a bad knockout loss to Oscar De La Hoya. That took some years away from his career. And I'm not saying that he retired early. What I'm saying is that he could have been better if they just allowed him to keep developing and kept him away from the best so early in his career. Side, Fundora and Virgil will duck him, even with a belt. I mean, Virgil, I told you guys before, man, Virgil looked like he don't want nothing to do with Boots. Nothing to do with him. Ow. Yo, Jay, am I bugging? I'm looking at Boots' professional record and I don't see any notable fighters. What makes him so special? So, when you say notable fighters, what you're really not seeing is stars. It's big stars. But I'll give you an example. And I'm going to look up his box rec to show you what I mean. Cousin Jet, best round ever, Gotti versus Ward. What do you think? So, look, that's a candidate for sure. But Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales, they got a similar, they got a fight. As a matter of fact, I'll put it to you like this. The first fight between Barrera and Morales, I'll say there was more action than the first or the second fight of Gotti and Ward. The first fight, Barrera, and by the way, the second fight, Barrera and Morales, the third fight, Barrera and Morales, they went at it on all fights. They went at it for 36 rounds. But that first fight especially, they had a lot of moments where there was no defense. There was no blocking. It was just boom, 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 just punching each other in the face. So I'll put them ahead of Gotti Ward. And then the best round, it might actually be Thomas the Hitman Hearns versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. That's probably the best first round of all time. So Al, let me show you something, right? About Jaron Boots Ennis record. Let me go to it real quick, so you can see what I mean. So right now, here we go. Boots is 35-0, right? So Wisma Lima, he's not a big name. He was a tune-up fight. We all know that he moved up to get that tune-up. But when you look at a Mantis Stanionis, he's legit. And I'm going to put it to you like this. A Mantis Stanionis, don't be surprised if he becomes a world champion. I actually expect him to, at some point, become a world champion. So I'm bringing that up to your attention so you can see the first time Pitbull Cruz fought Tank Davis, most fans didn't know him. Most fans saw Pitbull Cruz fight for the first time when he faced Tank Davis. And a lot of people felt like he was a cherry pick. And then look what Pitbull has become. He became a world champion, right? A Mantis Stanionis is like Pitbull Cruz, where people might think it's a cherry pick. But what happens when he becomes a world champion? Then we're going to realize, damn, that was a really good win from Boots. Stanionis is a real good name on his resume. That's real talk. So, watch this. Oops. So I'm looking at Stanionis. But hold on. Let me go back to Boots. To Boots' resume. And watch this. So I told you about Stanionis, right? What the fuck is going on over here, man? This thing playing game with me. So I told you about Stanionis, but then take a look at the other guy. Karen, the Karen dude, that Boots fought twice. That dude is an Olympic medalist, like an Olympic Karen Chukazian or whatever that is. That dude is an Olympic medalist. An Olympian. That guy can fight. That's a real good win. But people don't give Boots credit for it. Why? Because dude is not a superstar. David Avanesian. He a good fighter. He faced Terrence Crawford. You know who's really good too that Boots beat? Roy Maivia. Roy Maivia can fight. He was giving Boots a good fight, landing some good shots on him. Boots stopped him in the 10th round. Thomas Delorme. Sergey Lipinets. Another good fighter who only had one L, and Boots stopped him. So Boots got some real good wins, some good quality wins in his resume. But these guys are not superstars. They're not big names. So what happens is, what happened with Boots, or what's happening with Boots, is the same thing that was happening with Terrence Crawford. People were like, who he be? Who he be? Who he be? Nobody want to fight him. Nobody want to fight him. But when you really go down his resume, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Go down his resume. Just look at the records of the people that he fought. I'm not gonna give you the names, right? I'm gonna give you the records of the people Boots fought. Watch this. 14-1, 15-0, 24-2, 30-4, 26-1, 21-1, 19-0, 25-5, 16-1, 28-2, 23-5, 14-1, 12-1, 23-5, 24-5, 18-0. Bro, Boots is not fighting a bunch of bums with losing records. What I'm trying to show you is that Boots is consistently fighting highly ranked opponents. All of the opponents that he's fighting are ranked top 10. All of them. They're good fighters. But in boxing, especially in this social media age, you need stars in your resume. If you don't got stars, then you didn't fight nobody. You didn't beat nobody. Oh, well, look, he's trying to fight Virgil Ortiz and Virgil ducking. He can't force him. You can't make him. Sorry, Karen was a good fighter, and he beat him twice. Beat him twice. That's an Olympian. That's an Olympian. Devin, I guess we're putting Xander in witness protection. I would put him in witness protection against Jerome Boots. I allow, if I'm on that team, I'm allowing Xander to fight anybody but Boots. We don't need that action. We can do that later down the line, but I'm not letting him get in there with Boots. Cousin Jed, in the round with Gotti and Ward, is the momentum shift. That's crazy. But yeah, the Hearns and Hagler, I say a par with it. I say are with it. You know, Hagler versus Hearns, that's one of the most brutal slugfests that we've seen. There wasn't blocking. There was no defense going on. Boom, boom. But if you haven't seen it, Eric Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera won. To those of you who haven't seen that fight, I say, please check it out, my peoples. Please check it out. Devin Ford, okay, feed him to Fundora. I'm not sure that's going to be feeding him. The letter M, devastating blow. Let me just tell you something, Devin Ford. Xander Sayas was at Fundora's fight, and he was trying to do a face-off with him and everything after Fundora won, and they didn't let him. In fact, I think it was his sister, Fundora's sister, Gabriella, that was like, nah. But Xander Sayas, he been calling out for Fundora. He been really trying to get that smoke. And he trying to fight the other world champion, Josh Kelly. So Xander Sayas is showing us that he's really about... I put it to you like this. The only reason Xander Sayas not trying to get that smoke with Boots is because Boots is not a champion. Because he already showed us that he's a throwback fighter and he's trying to fight everybody and anybody. But it's like I said, if I'm his manager, if I'm his promoter, I'm not letting him step in there with Boots. Simple as that. Devin Ford, Keith is over. I even like. Look, man, don't underestimate Keith one-time Thurman. Because just look at his career. The guy has one loss to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters ever. That's his only loss. If you watched him in his last fight, he was spectacular. Of course, he didn't fight a star. He didn't fight a champion, a big name. But let me just say this. His physical assets, the speed, the power, the movement, the footwork, Keith Thurman looked like his old self. He looked like his old self. So I'm not making a prediction. I'm not saying that he's going to beat Fundora. But it's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be a real good fight. Mr. KO, I got Thurman beating Fundora. You got the upset happening then. It would be an upset. For obvious reasons, Sebastian Fundora is going to be the favorite to win that fight. Devin Ford, we'll see. Just remember, I called it. The beating of a lifetime, bro? Is that what you're talking about over here? The letter M, Fundora got the edge to me. He's the more active fighter. And it's not just the more active fighter. You know, he's a legitimate world champion. He's going to have a huge height and reach advantage. He's a very skilled fighter. He got that jab that you have to get past it if you're going to have a chance. So there's a lot going on with Sebastian Fundora. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. right now, Sebastian Fundora is the man in the 154 division. It's Sebastian Fundora's division. He's the man right now until further notice. So we have to see, can anybody dethrone Fundora? Could it be Xander Sayas? Could it be Jerome Boost Ennis? Who's going to be at the top of the division when it's all said and done? Because, listen, man, 154 right now is probably, I'm not going to say it's the most competitive division because there's a lot of competitiveness across the board. But right now, man, the guys that are challenging for the titles, 154 is stacked. Stacked. You really don't know who's gonna end up at the top. There's people that say Xander Sayas is the weakest link. There's people who say that Virgil's gonna climb up, but Virgil is out the loop right now. Virgil may not even be in the loop. And remember, my peoples, we over here, we not the average casual fans who you take a loss and we diminish you and we forget about you. Don't forget about Bakram Mortasaliev. Told you guys before, he won that fight versus Josh Kelly. He beat Josh Kelly. I don't want to hear that shit. Threw more punches, landed more punches, dictated the pace, chased him around. Josh Kelly running around, moving around, throwing a few punches towards the end of the round. Nah. That fight, Josh Kelly had in his corner the judges, the referee, the announcers, the crowd. Bakram Mortasaliev went up against the whole UK. And they gave their boy the fight. But don't get it twisted. Bakram Mortasaliev is a very dangerous fighter. Don't be surprised if he becomes a world champion again. Which, by the way, they should have gave him the rematch. Why Josh Kelly got that title from Bakram Mortasaliev and right away started trying to go in a different direction? Huh? Why? Give that man the rematch. That was a very close fight. That was a very a controversial finish. Devin Fundora's going to wash Keith. Whoa. It's going to be a washing session. JJ's in the house. Remember, everyone, Thurman is coming off of a shoulder injury. Devin Ford, Keith potentially getting his last big bag. If I even like Keith, but not against this kid. So, Keith Thurman, I believe this is gonna be a real good fight. It's gonna be a competitive fight. And if he loses in a very competitive fight, then we're gonna see him get another title shot. We're gonna see him on the big stage again. Now, if he get washed, if he get cooked, knocked out early, then it's probably over. The letter M, IBF champ, Josh Kelly. Man, listen, Josh Kelly's the IBF champion. We gotta respect him. He's the champion. He got beat by Bakram Mortasaliev. That's my take. Devin Ford, they did that one on purpose for Kelly. They took care of him. They took care of him. They really took care of him. And the funny thing about that, and this is when I realized how biased they could be over there in the UK. In that fight, if you watched it, the commentators, every time Bakram Mortasaliev would land with his own big shots, it's almost like they were like, it's almost like they wasn't looking at the ring, like they was looking at the crowd or something. And then when Josh Kelly would land, they would say, oh, Josh Kelly did this, Josh Kelly did that. So the commentators would only focus on telling the audience what Josh Kelly was doing. And they wasn't saying nothing about what Bakram was doing. And then at the end of every round, you will see them replay the punches that Josh Kelly was landing, but they would not replay the ones Bakram Mortasaliev was landing. Every round, it was like that. I kept saying, like, what the fuck? Like, by round number 5, That's when I realized what was happening. When I got to round number 5, and I remember after that round, Backroom had landed some good shots. Boom, boom. I actually heard him. And I remember in the replay, they just showed a couple of punches that Josh Kelly landed at the end of the rounds. I was like, oh, shit. So they only replaying what Josh Kelly's doing. This is crazy. And after every round, now I noticed it. So now I was looking for it. At the end of round number 6, let me see if they're going to show Backroom. Nope. At the end of round number 7, let me see the replay. Nope. 8, 9, 10, 11. After every round, they would only show you Josh Kelly. The commentators, they will only talk to you about what Josh Kelly was doing. And then, of course, the crowd, Josh Kelly could throw a jab. Going crazy. Backroom salía. Bing, bing, bing. Catching him. Lefts and rights to the dome piece. Everybody quiet. So it's like it was a collective effort from everybody over there to get Josh Kelly that win. Shit was crazy. But bro, I think they even said the greatness of Josh Kelly, and he ain't do shit. I'm telling you, they was all on Josh Kelly team. The announcers, they sounded like cheerleaders out there. Marie J. Smith, do you got Fundora winning versus Keith? So I haven't made that prediction. I am going to make it soon. But honestly, Marie, I haven't been able to make that prediction. Because I see this as a very competitive fight. A very good fight. I see how people are diminishing Keith Thurman. And they think that he's done. And he's washed and all of that. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Keith Thurman showed me already. He proved it to me. That he could have an activity, have a great training camp, and show up to the fight in great physical condition and showing zero signs of ring rust. Keith Thurman showed me that in his last fight. He was inactive for almost 2 years. And he faced the undefeated kid from Australia. And at that time, I was like, damn, this kid is undefeated. He's strong. He might stun Keith Thurman, give him another loss. But Keith showed up looking like his old self. Looking like he fought 4 months before that fight. Looked sharp. Looked strong. Showed power. Keith Thurman showed everything that we've seen from him before. So the Keith Thurman that's going to be facing Sebastian Fundora, I really believe is going to be the old Keith Thurman, the best version of himself. I really believe that Keith is the type of guy who can have a crazy good training camp, focus, discipline, and show up to the fight in extremely good shape and mentally sharp. This is why I've been struggling with making that prediction. It's not easy for me to just go against Keith because I know what Fundora brings to the table. The letter M, J. Smith knows Fundora got it. Youth, activity, reach, power. Nah, bro, honestly, my guy, I don't know that Fundora got it. You see how you're giving, look what you said, the letter M, right? Youth, activity, reach, power. That's all good. But you know what Keith Thurman got? Keith Thurman is going to have the edge in experience. He's going to have the edge in speed. And dare I say, he's probably even going to have the edge in skills. Sebastian Fundora is not a more skillful fighter than Keith Thurman. Skills pay the bills. So, Sebastian Fundora got a lot of tools in the bag. Keith Thurman got more tools in the bag than Sebastian Fundora. If we watch their fights, Keith got more. So it's a good fight, man. It's a competitive fight. Marie, I think he trained good and is mentally strong and in shape. I think he can win that fight. CIP, Thurman came back good against Barrio too. But that's what I'll be trying to tell people. And I understand sometimes a fighter's inactive and they come back and you could see the ring rust, you could see the low punch output, you could see, you know, it takes them 2, 3, 4 rounds to actually get going while they trying to adjust. But Keith Thurman already showed me that he can come off inactivity, have a great training camp, and look good, look sharp, fast, strong, all of it. So I can't just go against him because he's been inactive. Cousin Jack, bro, sign my trip out on how casuals or whatever you call them, they say De La Hoya was a bum. People don't know how good he was. See, the thing is that we're living in the social media era where people who saying that didn't actually watch De La Hoya's career. If you notice, people that say De La Hoya's a bum and he's not all that, usually it's people that's under 30 years old. People that's in their 20s who didn't really watch De La Hoya. So what did they see from De La Hoya? They saw the De La Hoya losses. They saw the fishnet version of De La Hoya. They saw the cokehead version of De La Hoya. They don't even understand that why this dude's company is named Golden Boy. They don't understand the amateur pedigree. They don't understand that Oscar De La Hoya was the only American to win a gold medal in the Barcelona Games. The only Olympic gold medalist that year from the USA. That's why he's the Golden Boy. They don't understand that Oscar De La Hoya is one of 2 fighters in the history of boxing to win titles in 5 or more divisions. Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao. That's it. That's it. In 6, my bad. Let me correct myself. In 6 divisions. De La Hoya won titles in 6 divisions. We know Manny did it in 8. It's 2 people in the whole history of boxing that are 6 divisions champions or more. De La Hoya, Pacquiao. De La Hoya resume is crazy. He fought everybody and anybody. So anybody who say stuff about De La Hoya is because they really either they don't know shit about boxing or they didn't really follow his career. It's kind of like Mike Tyson. Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He did that back in the 80s, bro. Until today, nobody's been able to break that record. The 90s passed, nobody. The 2000s, nobody. Now we in 2016. We're talking about over 30 years since Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, and nobody's been able to surpass that. We might go to our grave, my peoples. We might live out our entire lives, and we might never see nobody beat that Mike Tyson record. We might never see it. That show you how special he was. And Mike Tyson beat some dogs. Mitch Blood Green was a dog. Beat Larry Holmes. He beat some dogs in his career. But the social media fans who started watching boxing the other day, they don't know none of that shit. They only know that Mike Tyson, at the end of his career, he beat Evander Holyfield. He lost to this guy. He lost to that guy. They Google the box record. Oh, look, he lost to that McBride guy. He lost to a bum. They only focus on who the guy lost to, and he ain't shit. He ain't really all that. And I'll be trying to tell you guys, boxing, if you really want to measure a fighter's career, you don't measure it by his losses. You measure it by his wins and accomplishments. Because if you measure a career by a loss, then a lot of great fighters, they just going to be bums. How many losses Ali had? Like 5? How many losses Evander Holyfield had? How many losses? Like, if we really start doing that, then that's it. Nobody's going to be that great anymore because they lost. It's not about losing. It's about who you be and what you accomplished. The letter M, Thurman got one hell of a chess match. I tell you that much. I'm telling you, but look at the people that Thurman beat. Thurman beat prime, undefeated Danny Garcia. Like, that version of Danny Garcia, nobody could beat. Thurman gave him his first loss. And I can tell you right now, there is nobody in Fundora's resume as good as Danny Garcia. He ain't never beat nobody of that caliber. The letter M. Oscar is a Hall of Famer with great reason. 6th division is crazy. It's crazy. A 6th division world champion. Like, I can't even fathom disrespecting Oscar De La Hoya's boxing career. I can't even fathom that shit, bro. And a loss in Oscar De La Hoya's career that tell us how great he was is his loss to Floyd Mayweather. I want you guys to think about this. Oscar De La Hoya went life and death with Floyd. In case you don't remember, Floyd beat him by split decision. A split decision win on Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya had a rematch clause. Floyd retired for 1 year. And when the rematch clause expired, he came back to boxing. So I ask you, Floyd Mayweather gave Maidana a rematch. He gave Castillo a rematch. Why he didn't give De La Hoya a rematch? That was a split decision win. Why he didn't give him a rematch? And there was a rematch clause. He was supposed... I'm going to put it to you like this. For the Maidana fight, there was no rematch clause. Maidana didn't have a rematch clause. Castillo didn't have a rematch clause. But he gave him a rematch. Oscar De La Hoya had a rematch clause. Floyd preferred to retire for a year and come back when he no longer had to give De La Hoya that rematch. That tells you how good De La Hoya was. But to give you a little bit more of an understanding of how great Oscar De La Hoya actually was, I want you to take this into consideration. By the time Oscar fought Floyd, he was literally a fishnet wearing cokehead. He was already a cokehead, already drinking alcohol, already partying like crazy. Personal life was in shambles. Personal life was out of order. And you still go to a split decision with Floyd Mayweather, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, widely considered the greatest of all time, and you go split decision with him when you living life fucked up. That just tell you how great Oscar De La Hoya was. Imagine if Oscar would have fought Floyd when he was in his prime, when he was undefeated, when he was living right, doing the right things. Could have been a different outcome. I mean, a split decision on Floyd Mayweather when you living crazy, that's crazy. That's insane. Double AD, anytime they sleep on Thurman, they get woken up. I'm telling you, Keith one-time Thurman has been doing it, only has 1 loss in his resume, and people ready to diminish him. And like, yeah, he's done. He's cooked. Wait a minute. Keith Thurman got 1 loss in his entire career to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters of all time. The letter M, Ali lost 5, and he's considered the greatest of all time. You see? 5 losses on his record. He's not diminished. But you know why Ali is considered the greatest of all time? Because there was no social media back then. If there was social media, I can already picture the people saying when he first lost, oh, he a hype job. Oh, he got exposed. Oh, look. Because that's how we do it now, right? The letter M, Floyd didn't want to fight De La Hoya again, period. Although I think Floyd would have won again. It was high risk. It was a very high risk fight. Very high risk. Cousin Jed. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I care how they sleep on Oscar. But it's what I'm saying. I think the people who sleep on Oscar didn't actually watch him. It's the social media fans who watch, you know, the cross-dressing and all the crazy stuff. And then they Google the losses. So then they go by that. They didn't actually witness his career. The lunatic librarian in the building. Salute, family. Bam. Ow. Why was Thurman inactive for 2 years? I mean, he's been inactive for injuries. I know that he's had an elbow injury and I think maybe a shoulder as well. I think he got hurt in his last fight too. So I think he's been active because of injury and also because he a PBC fighter, bro. PBC fighters are mostly inactive. If you're on PBC, your ass is cooked. Double AD. Yo, Jay, Keith wins with a big performance. What do you think is next for him? I mean, if Keith Thurman wins the fight, he shoots all the way to the top because he's going to be a world champion. Not just going to be a world champion, he's more famous than everybody in that division. He's going to be the guy. If he's able to beat Sebastian Fundora, he's going to be the guy at 154. It's going to be his division until further notice. That's going to be a monster win. Raul Mercado, Oscar, and Trinidad. What do you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure you see it that way. We all saw it. Oscar De La Hoya won. He got robbed. Trinidad had Don King on his side. But Oscar De La Hoya also messed up. Yes, he should have won the fight. He was winning the fight. He should have won comfortably on the cards. But you're a world champion. Trinidad is a world champion. It was a big mistake to take those the championship rounds, take them off. And I'm going to just move, make you chase me. And I won because I got it in the bag. And it's crazy because Oscar De La Hoya's corner messed up. They the ones that told him. It actually came out on the live broadcast when the camera was on him at the corner in between rounds. We got the fight in the bag. That's it. Don't fight him. Don't stand there with him. Don't fight him. Move, footwork. They gave him instructions not to fight that. They got it in the bag already. And that was a big mistake. So even though I felt like he did get robbed, I felt like it was a mistake. You fighting an undefeated world champion. Don King is in his corner. For you to leave it in the judges' hands in that way where you're going to give up the final rounds, I thought that was a bad look for De La Hoya. Jay said there are 32 likes. Come on, my peoples. We've been at it for over an hour and a half. 32 likes? A lot of ghost watching going on over here, y'all. Devin Ford, I'll be happy for Keith if he wins. I just think Fundora going to be too tall, too strong. He fight inside, good, and outside. Let's see, man. Let's see. Look, here's the factor that you got to consider, Devin Ford. The speed difference. All those advantages that you see for Fundora, I agree with you. But you got to see the advantages that Keith got. Keith is going to be the faster guy in the ring. There's no doubt about that. He's also going to be the guy with the better footwork, with the better mobility. Got to take that into consideration. If Keith can be successful at going in and out, and moving and getting that rhythm, it could be problems, bro. It could be problems. Showdown boxing. Once upon a time, Keith Thurman was great. But what I'm saying is, why can't he be great right now? He only got one loss. And he's never looked bad. One loss, never looked bad. And in his last fight, he looked spectacular. Spectacular. Fast, sharp, strong, aggressive. Jason De La Hoya corner told him to let off the gas. You see? They gave up the fight. That was a big mistake. So even though I agree that he should have been ahead on the scorecards, you fighting an undefeated world champion, just like he got to take it from you, you got to take it from him too. And those championship rounds, it was Trinidad going forward. It was Trinidad being aggressive. De La Hoya just moving and just reacting to whatever Trinidad was doing. He allowed him to dictate the pace. I thought that was a big mistake, and it cost him the fight. You opened the window for them being able to rob you. Cousin Jack, keep gonna knock Fundora out. See, man, look, that can actually happen. Remember, Fundora got one loss in his resume. He got knocked out. And his one loss that he got, it was a knockout. And when you that big like that and you fall hard, my peoples. If they hit you and you go back like that, that shit is like a light pole coming down. Boom! Keith Thurman got the power to make it happen. But of course, I'm just letting you know that Keith Thurman is not to be disrespected. He's not to be, diminished. But I understand what Fundora brings to the table. I'll be the first to tell you Fundora is supposed to be the favorite. For some of the reasons that you guys mentioned, the size advantage, the reach advantage, the power, the skills. Yes, Fundora is going to be the favorite. I expect that. But that's not enough for me to make my prediction comfortably. I'm not ready to make a prediction because I got mad respect for what Keith is able to do in the ring. Pimente, what do you think about Adamus tomorrow? His opponent looks hungry, but I think Adamus washes him. It's going to be a good fight. Austin Ammo can fight. He's a skilled fighter. He's a guy who got power. And he feels like he could win this fight. He's going in there, feeling confident in himself. It's going to be a real good fight. I got Adamus walking out of there with the dub. I'm not going to say that he watches him because I respect the skills that Austin Ammo got. Let's see. Let's see how it plays out. I do got Adamus winning this fight, though. The lunatic librarian Thurman, just like everyone, gets hurt to the body. He does. But here's the thing to consider, my brother. A guy like Sebastian Fundora facing someone who's much, much smaller than Thurman, it makes it more difficult for him to go to the body. Makes it more difficult. Why? Because he all the way up here, his guys all the way down here to him, and now to punch him to the body, you really got to go down. You really got to bang yourself down there to land good shots to the body. So I think he's not going to be landing big, effective shots to Keith Thurman's body. I really don't think so. I think it's going to be the headshots that Keith Thurman is going to have to worry about as he's trying to close the gap. The letter M. Hopkins effed up both Tito and Oscar. What do you think of that, Jay Smith? I mean, that's what was supposed to happen. Both Trinidad and Oscar had no business moving that far up. Where they fight Hopkins, was it at 160 or 168? Neither one of those guys had any business fighting in that division. Neither one of them. If you watch those fights, it's like Hopkins was fighting two little kids, bro. Like their punches had absolutely no effect on Bernard Hopkins. Think about Tito Trinidad in the welterweight division. How he just put the beats on everybody. Think about him at 154. He fought Olympic gold medalist David Reed. Put the beats on him. Dropped him a bunch of times. Had him rolling around the canvas like a bum. But now you moving up and up and up. Trinidad and De La Hoya, they both became examples of what happens if a fighter keeps moving up. Eventually, you're going to move up to somebody that is going to eat your best punches like them shits is soft shell tacos. You're not hurting anybody. Cousin Jed, Anthony Mundine, Shane Mosley. Mundine didn't start boxing until 24. He's also the only boxer in history to have every fight as a main event in world, every single fight he had. Beat. Damn, I didn't even know that. Didn't even know that. That's a good little piece of information. Devin Ford, no disrespect to all. On lace kicks, Thurman can't take body shots and gets tired fast. He knows for pulling out his mouthpiece to breathe. Yeah, but it's like I told you. Somebody like Keith Thurman, who's that big, you're not going to see a lot of body shots like that. You're not going to see a lot of body work. It's too, when you're so tall and you're fighting a guy that's short compared to you, for you to punch him to the body, you got to really go down because they low. So you're not going to see a lot of body shots. I don't expect Fundora to hurt him to the body. The lunatic librarian, Ammo from Milwaukee. Would be nice to have a world champ from the city. Look, man, I'm not gonna diminish Austin Ammo. He a skilled fighter. He got pop. So I expect him to actually make it a competitive fight, make it an interesting fight. It's just that Carlos Adamus is a different animal, man. He a dog. I'm not sure how many opponents they have in common. One of those opponents is Hamza Shiraz. You saw what happened with Hamza Shiraz and Carlos Adamus. Yeah, I saw that controversial draw. Well, Hamza Shiraz is the only guy to beat Austin Ammo. Now, we already said this a million times. The triangle theory doesn't work in boxing. It doesn't really mean anything. Doesn't really mean anything, but it's a good talking point to bring up. Austin Ammo got beat by the same guy who went life and death with Carlos Adames and got gifted a draw. Turkey helped him. Helped him not take that L. Unlaced kicks. Thurman needs to stop pulling back with his hands down. That's how Manny caught him. Can't counter on the back foot with your hands down. But I think Manny caught him slipping because he wasn't expecting that type of speed. He wasn't expecting for Manny to be able to close the gap that quick on him. Got caught slipping. Johnson Island. Thurman stops Slenderman. Whoa. Tank owns boxing. Ryan stops Devin. Again, working with David. It's dangerous. Gay Rivera. Tell me, my brother. Salute, family. Bam. Ow. This will be a good fight for Fundora. A good setup. A good step up in experience. It will only make him better. Look, if Fundora is able to get the W against Keith Thurman, he's the favorite, right? If he's able to get that win, that's going to do a lot for him. Because it's not just going to be, you know, a win in his resume, a number. It's going to represent a big name. It's going to represent a former world champion. It's going to represent a star. So Sebastian Fundora's star power is going to go like this. It's going to skyrocket. So that will be, for either guy, if Keith Thurman pulls off the upset, that shit will go viral across all boxing platforms. Viral. Keith Thurman is back. Keith Thurman champion once again. And I'm telling you, Keith is approaching this fight with a chip on his shoulder. Why? Because he been a world champion. He been a unified world champion. Yeah, he get all this disrespect. All these people that say that he's washed. He's done. Keith ain't the same no more. Trust me, he see that like disrespect. And now he wants to show that he can be a champion again. That he can perform at the highest level. And people just diminishing him. He want to show us. A former world champion with a chip on his shoulder with only one loss in his resume. It could be dangerous. It could be very, very dangerous, my peoples. Gabe, Adamus by brutal knockout. And Thurman, I give him a puncher's chance. But again, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Whoa, you got Adamus beating Austin Ammo via brutal knockout. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. The letter M. It will be a story to tell. Too bad Thurman won't beat Fundora. The same no more. But why do you think he ain't the same no more? He looked the same. In his last outing, he looked the same, bro. Fast, sharp, strong. Beat the guy by knockout. Beat the crap out of the guy. So it's not a star, right? He didn't beat a star. He didn't beat a champion. But how did he look? He looked the same, bro. Trent Thomas, peace and blessings, brother. Salute, family. Bam, demo forward. He's going to need to cash the big kid. It's going to be tough. Gonna be tough. My peoples, I'm going to remind you, in case you don't know, tomorrow night, I am going to be calling these fights. I'm going to be calling them live. Make sure you tune in. Fight Night with Jay Smith. You're going to get the left to the mouthpiece, the right to the wig piece, the left to the toupee. Oh, the humanity. We're going to get some serious action tomorrow, fellas. So don't miss out on Fight Night with Jay Smith. I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Y'all already know I'm Jay Smith. And by the way, tomorrow I'm going to be calling the fights at night. But in the morning, will be a Saturday edition of Boxing for Breakfast. So don't miss out tomorrow morning. On Saturdays, I start a little bit later to give people the opportunity to jump in. So instead of 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, tomorrow's episodes kicks off at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in. And y'all already know what it is, man. I'm about to get the hell out of here. I got to go make this money right now. You guys got to go get that money too. Let's get it, my peoples. One love to everybody. Peace, love, and blessings. I'm out of here. Bam. Wait a minute. JJ's in the house says the word of the day. I'm not just going to get the hell out of here without giving you the word of the day. How can I do you like this? I can't just do you like that. So here you go, my peoples. The J. Adamus word of the day. It's Friday today. Some of us get paid on Fridays, right? Some people get paid every Friday. Some people get paid every other week. I get paid on Fridays, right? Don't make every week the same week. And what I mean by that, sometimes, and I've been in that situation, right? I've been in this situation that I'm about to tell you, don't put yourself in it. Don't be the person who, when Friday comes, you go get some alcohol, you go to the same club or to the same bar, get twisted on Friday night, then on Saturday night, you go to the same club or the same bar, get twisted again, and on Sunday, we get twisted some more, and then Monday, we back to work, back at it again. Don't do that shit, my peoples. It's okay to take a week, to have a good time, to have fun, but don't keep repeating the same thing every week. This week, spend some time with your family. You got small kids, take your kids to the park. Take your wife to the park. Go for a walk. You live close to a beach, you live close to a river, you live close to a lake, you live close to a nice big park. Go out with your family. Spend some time with your family. So that's the word of the day, my peoples. There's a lot of different things that we could do. But spend some time with your family. Take weekends to spend time with your family, to spend time with the people that you love. Because we spend a lot of time working. Right now, we politicking, we talking boxing, but when I'm done with this, I got to work. And I'm going to spend my day working. And then my wife got to work too. My son is in school. We're going to get together at night, watch a little bit of TV, and then go to sleep and do it all over again. So when we got Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday to spend time with the family, spend time with the family, my peoples. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your loved ones. That's the most important thing that you could be doing when you got time to do it. So there you have it, my peoples. That's the J. Adamus word of the day. Spend time with your loved ones. I'm out of here, my peoples. One love.